guys. Well, I'm Anna Kate, and this is Elizabeth and Victoria, and we are the GovCon girls. And we are going to be conducting an interview for one of our colleagues, Victoria, who is on this call. She is the director of training for the Proposal Helper company, and we're just going to have some fun, get to know one of our teammates, and see where this conversation leads. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of fun bloopers and as well as a lot of fun facts. Elizabeth, do you have anything to throw in there before we begin?
Oh, I'm just so excited, for you guys to get to meet our teammate. We love Victoria. We love getting to work with her, and we're excited to get to talk about, not just what she does at Proposal Helper, but who she is outside of Proposal Helper.
And keynote, she's a GovCon girl too.
I'm so honored that you guys have taken the interest in interviewing me. So thanks.
Well, for fun, let's do a little warm-up icebreaker game. So, have you heard of Two Truths and a Lie?
I've heard of it.
Okay. Would you like to play?
Sure.
All right. Give us three things, and Elizabeth and I'll try to figure out where your lie is.
Okay. Gosh, these are so awful. Okay. You said make them good, and that put the extra pressure on. So they're awful. All right. So I once sang solo in my high school choir. I have my paralegal certificate, and I have a hypersensitive sense of smell. Those are very good. Do you know what this reminds me of? Do you know, like in college when you would go around and like tell your, like the professor would have you tell about yourself? Yeah. What do you think, Anna Kate?
I know she's certified in paralegal because
She has to be.
So that's
If you knew Victoria, you would know that was correct.
That's true because she's brilliant. I think the lie is the singing.
Ooh, see, I think the lie is the sense of smell. Oh, but
who's the winner?
Drum roll. I did not sing solo in a choir. Not only do I have terrible stage fright, but I have got one of the softest voices that man has ever heard. So it was not singing in a choir. I tried out. I didn't make the cut.
Sorry to hear that.
Karaoke is not your thing. Yep. And due to my hypersensitive sense of smell, my husband's life is miserable sometimes, especially when I'm pregnant. So. Oh my.
Well, Elizabeth, we know Victoria, but maybe the rest of our teammates within Proposal Helper bid execs, they might not know her as well. So, Victoria, tell us who you are. What are your interests, proudest moments?
Thanks. So first and foremost, I am a military spouse to an accomplished active duty soldier. We're stationed in the Fort Liberty, formerly Fort Bragg area of North Carolina, came from Georgia and originally came from Northern Virginia, where I grew up. So we're living life here, and if I've got any golf colleagues or clients that want to meet at Pinehurst one day, hit me up. My almost 1-year-old son is my greatest pride and joy, and my second baby, my dog, who is a showstopper and looks like a wolf, is my other pride and joy. And I just really love exploring, traveling, and which seems so typical, but in particular, outdoor activities. I live next to a rec lake, so I like to break out the paddleboard on a lunch break here and there. Don't tell Rena. And get some sun, walk the dog. And proudest moment, this is going to sound really lame, but one of my proudest moments was, I don't know if you've ever heard of DECA, but in high school, DECA was the big thing, and my business plan for a local business placed second in the national competition, and truly, that moment was a huge confidence booster for me in my adolescence, and as I got older, I think back, I'm like, if I can place second in nationals in something, I can do this, so.
We love
Victoria, you said you like to travel. Tell us, where's your favorite place that you've been?
Gosh, we have done Euro trips with friends and Euro trips with family, and we recently went to Ireland. But I absolutely loved London and that area. We did a day trip to Bath. I didn't find the people in Paris very warming. My husband loved it. But Paris was a really cool city to see, and we visited the catacombs and Rome, and let's see where else. And I love Germany. Germany is so clean, the people are so nice, and my husband's family is in Germany. So, yeah, I'd love to go back there any day.
Do you have any weird talents or hobbies you want to share?
Um,
Can you
no,
do something
so
cool?
So you gave me a couple of ideas that got the wheels turning. Fun fact, I do actually have my motorcycle license.
Ooh.
Bro, you will never catch me driving one. I actually stopped too hard when I was taking my test and the bike fell on top of me, which was awful, but I did learn how to pick it up, which was pretty cool. And they still gave me my license. So, if you need a place, I know a place.
You're
Yeah.
so a certified paralegal and she drives a motorcycle.
Yeah, yeah. I just really wanted to be like a very European on my little 250. And yeah, so, but I've got a super strong sense of intuition too. So that's pretty cool. And I start Christmas shopping in July, which results in everyone getting too many gifts.
You know, that's an interesting characteristic. Do you also start watching those Hallmark movies like in September?
Not quite, but my tree does go up before Thanksgiving.
I'll be like, what
Love it or hate it, that's what you get.
you can't, you can't start watching the Hallmark movies if you've never stopped watching the Hallmark movies.
There you go. Yep. Um, Other than that, I'm a big DIY girl. Love woodworking, and all of my projects around the house are always like 90% complete because I start the next one and need to go back and do the fine details. So I'm working on that.
I need you to come over to my house and give me ideas.
Yes.
Oh, I think that's it though.
Well, let's circle to professional. Professionally, who is Victoria? How long have you been with the company?
So I've been with Proposal Helper for 5 years now. I've hit my 5-year anniversary last month. So I started with the company as a junior proposal coordinator and grew into proposal manager, senior proposal manager, and now I have the pleasure of serving as our director of corporate training, working with our internal employees and the employees of our franchise owners.
So you were one of my first key plugins into the company, and you guided me, supported me, and directed me, which it's meant the world to me. And when I journal and I write about the end of my days as I document, I have a work journal just to keep track of things. And whenever I have time with you, it's documented about just how relieved I am to know that you're in my support system and I have you to call on, because when like it can be a weird time, like 2:15 in the afternoon, and I know you're in a meeting, but if you can answer me, you will in a chat, and that means everything to me for you to be so supportive and wanting to make sure everything's running smoothly with all the departments within this company. So I give you a plus for just the support you gave me in bringing me on. What are some ways that you support other new hires? I know my experience and how valuable it was to me, and I feel even though you're in Virginia and I'm in Georgia, I feel so connected to you just because of that experience I had. It was like we were in the same office. So I guess also in a remote situation, how do you support new hires?
Well, I so appreciate that. That was so sweet of you. But my engagement with the new hires really starts with working in tandem with Brandy, our HR person. So HR and onboarding. Um, but once they are all set up in our systems, my primary role is to make sure that everyone has the basic industry knowledge that they need in order to be successful, just even operating in this environment, and taking it one step further to make sure they also have job specific training, and that they can confidently and successfully perform the duties within their role. Whether it's proposals, which is my niche, or BD, research, or another department. If I'm not leading the training, I'm facilitating the training. And if there are needs that come up, I help make sure that we've got the right point of contact and SMEs on those. Um, so in ways that I help already established employees, if they need refresher trainings or if they are interested in learning a different role, making sure that those are being set up for them depending on what they need, and just providing on-the-job mentorship and coaching. And what's the saying? Starting at a new job is embarrassing for no reason at all. For absolutely no reason. So I try to alleviate those feelings, and I'm very much an empath with um, trying to understand where people are coming from and how they might be feeling and approaching a new world. And learning curve for a proposal helper it's a lot. We're very process driven. It's a lot to learn, especially if you're completely new to the industry. So
You do so much. This is something Anna Kate and I have discussed. I mean, I think when I started about 2 years ago, you were the first person I did, talked to as well. But I know even, this morning, if I have an issue about something unrelated, something we haven't discussed, I'm like, Victoria is the person that I can reach out to, because if she doesn't know, she knows somebody who knows, and
yeah.
she will hop on a call with me. And I mean, we feel the impact. So that's one reason too. You were our first interviewee, and we love that because you were the first person that we both talked to, and we know that you're somebody to reach out to within the company, for support with us as well as, with the clients. But, you do so much for other people. What is your favorite part of the job? Like, if you had to think about your day and all that you do, what do you like best?
I mean, I truly love like the coaching aspect and helping someone actually do their work. So it's one thing to put someone through a simulation and just kind of, teach them and have these kind of, I'm instructing and you're listening, but having that real exchange where we're figuring things out together, is so rewarding for me. And when the light bulb goes off, and then I see my teammates and colleagues doing things on their own successfully and even teaching others, that's when it really hits home, is when my trainees are able to teach their colleagues, which is the culture that we really try to implement and we've been working hard to establish here. So
What are some things that you love most about the Proposal Helper Bid Execs company?
well, I mean, there's there's a couple of things, but even just what I was saying, with the culture of people helping each other. But we're a company of self-starters and leaders. So the culture really, there's no micromanagement. The people that we choose to onboard, they all kind of have that same mentality, and the culture really pushes everyone to be the best that they can be personally and professionally. And with that autonomy, there comes a lot of trust and flexibility. And I will always be eternally grateful for that flexibility, being able to work from home and raise my son. So the culture is just fabulous in that regard.
I absolutely agree with you there.
I agree as well. That's wonderful. So, could you shed light on, and this is for clients, future clients, Elizabeth and I use Proposal Helper Bid Execs when we speak because we're connected really to both. But can you explain to the viewers what the difference is, even though we are under the same umbrella, which is under our CEO, Rena? Can you explain the difference between Proposal Helper and Bid Execs?
Yeah. So,
Mhm.
Rena started Proposal Helper, and We're over a decade now into providing the solutions and services that we offer for BD and proposal support. And we are so process driven. And, we've got established process based on lessons learned over the past decade. And, it kind of dawned on Rena one day, and I'm sure she'll tell you the same thing, that there's no one franchising this business model. And the competition that we have, um, we still have our key differentiators, and there's a market for expansion here, and to build our own network. So we have opted to franchise the business model because we've got the repeatable processes in place to the point where we can do that. Um, so BidExecs Franchising LLC is technically the corporate support office of our BidExecs franchise owners. BidExecs Franchising LLC uses the same processes, and we offer pretty much the same solutions that ProposalHelper offers. So ProposalHelper was kind of the guinea pig and our OG. And from that, we have come up with BidExecs Franchising LLC to afford other entrepreneurs and striving entrepreneurs the opportunity to have their own business and leverage our network and even leverage our corporate resources so that they can gradually stand up their business, which is something that's absolutely fantastic that you won't really find anywhere else, the level of support that our corporate team can offer new business owners, even from servicing whole or in part until they bring on their own employees and can generate that revenue.
Amazing. That was beautifully explained. You explained that so well
for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had to throw in a little, fun one to keep you on your toes that we didn't tell you in advance. But I think that explains beautifully whenever clients ask us. So now they can see it on YouTube and any other channel that we share this on, the explanation. So I really appreciate you going into detail on that. So another one I'm going to throw at you, and this is very important to Elizabeth and I: coffee or tea?
You already know.
Okay. This is so the funny thing is my answer is tea, but I drink coffee every morning. There are times where I have to break up with coffee and I switch to tea, but chai tea is my go-to. It's my Starbucks order unless there's a salted caramel iced something. Um, I'm a chai tea girl, so tea, iced tea, unsweet tea.
Well, Elizabeth and I are coffee primarily, but we secondary tea. We end our day with tea too, but you can still be in our club.
Okay, when I come down to Savannah, we're gonna have to go to the Grafton Tea Room and have ourselves a morning.
I love that.
You guys know I start my morning with a coffee. I coffee throughout the day, and then we end it with an iced tea. Whenever I get to work with Anna Kate and I, like for everybody who's watching, Anna Kate and I are fortunate to live in the same city. And so occasionally we get to work together, and it's the end of the work day when we start brewing the tea. I'm like, all right, it's time to switch it over.
That's so European of you.
Very.
We try.
So cosmopolitan.
Well, that's it from my end. Elizabeth, can you think of any fun questions? Or is there anything, Victoria, you want to share that we didn't ask?
And I can always think of fun questions, but I will end it here. Victoria, we appreciate your time. And again, for being the first interviewee of the GovCon Girls. Like Anna Kay said, you are a GovCon Girls. We appreciate that you took the time to tell us about you and, were vulnerable and opened up on this meeting with us.
Well, thanks, ladies. I will look forward to the next time that I get to have a little cameo on your show. So
I'd love that.
Bye, girls.
Bye.
Bye.